And when you say challenge, you mean like a work challenge or like a social challenge or like like, that's a really broad
Right.
question. Yeah.
In this particular case, it would be like a work-related challenge, but you know, got a little personal here.
That's
Yeah.
much-
Because I would, you know, you could deal with any kind of challenge in the same way. So I guess for now, you know, any challenge.
I'd say just being steadfast and like stubborn and sticking to it. I guess a challenge is just a difficult problem or a difficult situation. A situation that's more challenging than I expected. I just stick with it. I just if I there's two things I could stick with it or I could ask for help. Depending on the situation and a specific challenge. I just respond according to the challenge. Like either if it's something that just requires more perseverance, that was maybe harder than I thought, I just push through it. If it's something that maybe I don't have the capacity to complete on my own, then I ask for help.
Sounds good. I like this one. If you were to start a startup company tomorrow, what would it be?
My thing would be like dressing up the community a lot better. I think a lot of the issues that we face in Newark is just the way we dress. I think a lot like clothes make the man or something like that. I think if we dress a little differently, people would treat us a little differently, and we would communicate a little differently. So, like I've thought about this, like starting like a clothing store, like a free clothing initiative, where we give out free clothes to like young men between the ages of, or young women too, between the ages of like 15 and 25. I think it's a big part of how we think, is how we dress, how we see ourselves in the mirror before we leave the house. I think that'd be my idea for a startup.
I'm gonna jump to skill set. What are your strongest skills?
My strongest skills, I'd say, are sort of my attitude, like very laid back, but also hard working. So I'm easier to work with, and like I also have like hard technical skills, like applications that I'm good at that could actually add value, like Excel, SQL. Those are things I have experience with, both professionally and academically. So I'd say sort of soft skills wise would be my attitude, my diplomacy. Like I try not to offend anyone, and I try to like bring people together and help people. So I'd say those are my two biggest skill sets.
What is your ideal work environment?
Oh, it would be somewhere liberal. Liberal because I feel like I'm different. I'm not like the average worker. I don't fit, you know, in my industry at least, I don't fit the stereotype of what a person like with my skill set looks like. So I've always, and I've worked for small companies and larger companies, and I've always felt more accepted in larger companies where there are people from different backgrounds. It's very, again, liberal is a very general word, but it's just very accepting of people of all shapes, sizes, languages, you know, yeah.
What skills and opportunities do you need to get to the next level of your success?
I think I need to get better at what I'm good at, really specialize and get better. And then I need opportunities in the sense that I need people higher up to believe in me and sort of give me the opportunities. Because the opportunities are there, but someone has to recommend you, someone has to say hire this guy, as far as like HR is concerned, and someone has to make that recommendation. So I need people who believe in me and believe that I can be successful going forward.
What are your weaknesses and how have you tried to address them?
I'd say my biggest weakness is just perception, the way people see me. Like I said, I don't fit sort of the stereotype of what a person with my skill set looks like. So I do things actively to manage people's impression of me, like impression management, like wearing glasses, dressing the right way, working hard, trying to work harder than everyone else just to prove that I belong. Those are all things that I actively do, like impression management techniques, like being nice to people, giving them compliments, doing favors, like things like just impression management tactics.
Why do you think you have not been hired in the past?
I've always applied to roles that were very, just in high demand, like all finance technology roles where they receive like dozens of applications. And I think literally a lot of times the difference is like who you know. Like this is guys who've gotten jobs over me because they know the right person or they have more experience. So I think those are the reasons. Like maybe I didn't have the right connection, or I didn't have enough experience, or just other things. I mean, it's the jobs I apply to, maybe 2% of the applicants get hired. So I think it's just a matter of, and I've gotten hired at some pretty cool places. So I think the ones where I didn't get hired, I think it's just circumstance.
Were you ever given constructive criticism? And how did you apply that feedback?
All the time, especially when I first graduated. I didn't know a lot. Like I don't have like parents or older siblings who have done what I'm doing, so I kind of had to learn a lot by mistakes. So yeah, I got a lot of constructive criticism as an intern, like when I interned especially. You know, people told me how to dress, how to tone it down a lot. Because I was really, I was a teenager, I was really aggressive. I only listened to rap music. I didn't talk a lot, really. Like I always wore my Yankee hat everywhere, even to work. There were just things that I did, like as a young man. And all those constructive criticisms helped me. Like a lot of times I see young interns come in and they just get ignored because they don't talk to anyone. They don't ask for criticism. I asked, like I'd have weekly meetings with my mentor and to ask how I was doing, and I try to implement those.